What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like what you see. Please check out my other movie reviews as well as short films that I've created over time. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, keep it professional, and I will get back to you. Hit that subscribe button and that notification button for more updates. And to those who have been joining me, thank you for once again coming back to my channel and checking out my videos. As always, I appreciate you. And let's get straight to it. Alien Romulus. And I have a lot to say about not this film, but the overall reviews of others about this film. But I will talk about this film because I really enjoyed this film. I loved it a lot. I give it a 9 out of 10. For me, it was just back to formula with the whole Alien franchise, and that's the problem that some people have, and I'll get into that in a bit. But I loved the world. I love the face huggers. I thought they shined a lot in this movie. It was great to just see them more than pop out of the egg and jump out at somebody, and that's it. Like, you really didn't see that much in any of the other films, but they did a lot in Romulus, and I loved it. They had, one scene where it was just like two scenes, like big scenes with just the face huggers, and I thought it was just executed very well. And based off of the trailer, when I saw the whole, face huggers going, coming out the door and into the hallway chasing, the crew or the cast, it was just, I had to see this movie. And it did not disappoint. I love the whole threat of, we have a specific amount of time to be on this space station before it crashes into this planet's rings. It was like Saturn. You had the eventual alien threat that came about. So not only was it just an alien movie, but it was just a time based, they had a limited time to get out of the station. So they had that, and I've never seen that in any other Alien franchise. So that was unique. But, I really liked three cast members. Two of them I enjoyed. Kaylee, I forget her last name, starts with S. Spillane. She played Rain. If I jacked your name up, I'm sorry. She played the main character of Rain. She was your Ripley-esque character, and I really enjoyed her. I liked her a lot. She was her own character. She wasn't Ripley, but I still was invested with her. And then you had Android or the synthetic. His name was Andy. At first, I didn't think I was gonna like him, but I actually did enjoy him. He's my second favorite character. I thought he was cool. At first, I thought he was a human until they kind of show you that he wasn't, and then it's like, okay, so why is it when they have a synthetic, why do they take on characteristics that it's like he was? Some people, in some reviews I've heard they call him Simple Jack, which is, about him coming off, I guess you want to say autistic. And I don't know, within the story, I felt like from what I heard the main Range say, he was going to be discontinued. So he might have been malfunctioned or something. And that's why he is the way he is. I could be wrong, but that's how I thought of it when I heard discontinued and whatnot. So, it didn't bother me. I thought I was going to be bothered by this character because I felt like he's going to be, in a lot of trouble because he probably couldn't take care of himself and such, the threats, and that he's going to be a lot of like save me situations. But that wasn't the case. He was really good. I really enjoyed him. So for anyone who didn't like him, I don't get it, but you're not wrong for not liking anything about this film. But I will say, from what I've read in reviews, especially this one review this morning, it was these two women, and one of them only seen 2 films in the franchise, and she compared it to it was like feeling like Star Wars, and then she even made a comment about the main actress who played Rain, Kaylee, how she wasn't as cool, and again, I'm just saying it in my way of wording. I can't give it word for word, but basically they commented on her not being attractive. And it's like, what did that have to do with the movie? And Kaylee, I think, is beautiful. So I don't know where that came from, why they thought she was unattractive. Was she a badass like Ripley? No, but towards the end, she held her own and she had that. So I really don't know what the heck they were watching in this film. A lot of the people complained about nostalgia. Nostalgia is a problem with nowadays in franchises and films, and it's like nostalgia it's not a big deal. It's not a problem. It happens in real life. It's just that in film it's thrown at us, so we see it more and especially if it's like consecutively or consistently throughout the film, like we're in the moment. So like, what's the problem? It's throwbacks, it's callbacks to this universe that was created. Does all nostalgia moments work? No, and I will be honest. It was great to see Ian Holm back in a way that he died. The actor Ian Holm, he played in the first Alien film. He played the role of Ash. In this film, it's his likeness, but it's not the name Ash. It's another synthetic, with his likeness, but it's CG and it's really badly done. And I'm not a fan of CG like that. Like I would have preferred an animatronic. Again, they say I've heard that the family signed off on it and it was fine. So if that's the case, and I've heard that he always wanted to be in another like Ridley Scott film because he was an alien. Ridley Scott didn't direct Romulus. It was Freddy Alvarez. But I heard good things, and he wanted to be in just work with him again or even be in the franchise somehow again. But, they did it with the CGI and it looked bad. It wasn't the greatest in the film, but it was passable. It didn't bother me. And some people they get bothered by such things and it just takes away from them. And it's just like, get over it. Like, what's the big deal? Watch the movie for what it is. Why are you like so nitpicky on things? But again, if that's not what you like, then that's fine. But when you kind of seem like your whole basis is on such elements as if the whole film is bad, it's like, what are you, do you even, I don't know. I can't, it's hard. People are going to critique and have their own opinions, but sometimes there's just no like justification to the argument, and maybe I'm wrong in saying that. And you just go off about talking about nonsense that you never really seen the whole franchise in general. You just saw 2 films, and then you compare it to things that have no sense of comparison. Another issue was the whole hybrid, the offspring trope that happened already, and the first time was in Resurrection, which I didn't mind it. It was great to see another alien form. That's what these films are about. It's about new versions of these offsprings being created. That's why, Prometheus, even when it came out, Prometheus, it mentions, and you saw another birth with in Prometheus with the engineer. Chest burster, and that's why I was just giving birth in general. But with the character of Elizabeth Shaw, it turns into a big face hugger eventually. And then the engineer, it gets, the big face hugger goes into the engineer, and impregnates him or whatever you will. And that whole type of, it wasn't a neomorph it was called or something, but you had that version. And then, all these other films, they've done that and you've seen so many variations. So now, you got Resurrections where it was just a clone queen of, Alien of Ripley. That was supposed to be like a Ripley clone, I believe. Gave birth to this, alien hybrid, human hybrid. And it was ugly and white, and it just was, nobody really liked it, but I get it. It's what it is. And then in this film, Romulus, you've got another birth, but this time the baby was already in the womb. And when the character injects herself with the black goo, that's in Prometheus, it was in this film. She injects herself thinking that, maybe it'll help her because that's what the theory was. And it does something to the baby, and then she gives birth, and it's like an egg coming out of her, and then the egg is a baby that's seen, and then the acid drips down into the station, and eventually the baby becomes bigger because that's what happens in the franchise. The aliens, they grow fast, and it's a mixture of a xenomorph, more like an engineer from Prometheus, long and lanky, and eventually gets the tail forming after it kills its mother. But like, people didn't like it. People say, "Oh, that's not unique. They did it again. It was whack." But it makes sense to the lore. This is what happens within that universe when people get impregnated, and the black goo happens, or when the chest burster is put in from the face hugger into any type of being, and it creates a new like, people just complaining about things that is like, do you understand what the hell you're watching? Like, you clearly, especially those, if you know what you're watching, you don't have to like it, which is fine, but it's like, at least have a valid argument that makes sense to like, what aspects are you watching in the film? You want something new? Like, you're still getting uniqueness into the film. It's things are happening, they're happening differently. It's not different than any other franchise that kind of does callbacks or reuses things but changes it up in a way. It's like that's just what it is. And you want a new film, go make your own fan film. I really don't understand what people are like complaining about. And I'm not trying to say that their dislikes rather are, or their opinions don't matter, because, again, opinion's an opinion, and of course, I'm not going to like things that they like, and they're not going to like things that I like, but at least have a cohesive argument. Somebody's talked about woke in the film. Oh, no, I'm not going to go see the film because, and this is a comment I saw, because this film is woke. The cast is woke. I'm not going to go see this film because this cast is woke. Are you kidding me? The cast, yes, they were all different, but what's the big deal? I like to see a variety of castmates who are all different. I don't need to see the same, members of the same community, unless that's what the story calls for. But if I'm going to have a mixed cast, then that's unique. That's what I want to see in my film. Why is that a problem? Now, all of a sudden, because of the idea of trying to, because again, the whole woke term, it was destroyed. So now it's a bad, it's just looked at bad when the idea was just trying to bring, people together and make things fair. Now, all of a sudden, when you do such a thing, it's a problem. So now you can't have, a Spanish person and an Asian person or a black person in a film because it's woke. Like, really? We haven't had that for years in movies. But all of a sudden, you've seen it now, and because of the whole idea of woke is a thing, that's a bothersome, approach. I don't understand the argument of a lot of people, and I just feel like people just say things just to be in the in crowd, or they're just not really understanding of what it is that they're watching. But again, if your argument was that it just didn't feel unique, which I still thought it was a unique movie. There was a lot of scenes and a lot of things that happened that were unique. But yeah, there may have been similarities in feelings, and that's okay if that's not what you like. Then that's not my argument with those people. Like, if you just wanted something that was, on another planet where they're like stuck in, this environment where there's just all types of different alien creatures that, came about from face huggers, impregnating all these type of animals, and then just these colonial marines, if you will, or just random civilians that are in this area where these aliens were apparently happen to be, and then they're attacking them, and there's a way we got to get out. Like, that would have been new, and I guess that's fine. And we might even see that in the TV show Alien Earth, because it's going to be on Earth, so we might even get that of some sort of degree. Like I don't know what people are complaining about. I think, again, the movie was shot beautifully. Like, I loved it. Wow, it was gorgeous. I loved the whole the time that they had to try to get out of the space station because they were about to impact the rings, the planet's rings, and that scene where Rain is hanging for her life because, the ship, she used the acid to try to, bust out the hull so that the alien can get sucked out, and it does, and she's hanging out, in space, and then eventually the alien didn't fly out yet, it just appears in front of her from, the whole background with the rings and space. Like, it was just done very well, and I liked it a lot. Again, I give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 is because the CGI of Ian Holm, which, was great to see, the likeness of the character again and hear the voice, I didn't, like the whole CGI. And then also, I didn't really care for the cast members other than Rain, the synthetic Andy, and I'll give a pass to Tyler because he seemed like a cool dude. But whether he lived or died, I didn't care. There was a nice shot with the whole gravity in this particular area with the acid that was utilized to try to make their way past the acid, and it was awesome. Like, you gotta see the film. If you like the Alien franchise, please go see it for yourself. Don't listen to reviews, whether it's good or bad, and make your decision to want to see it. Like, see it because you are actually interested in seeing it, because you like the Alien franchise, whether it's a hit and miss for you, but you've been following it, or even if you just saw the trailer and you're like, wow, that looks really good. Check it out for yourself. I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people, it's hard. Like, right now, I just had one conversation with somebody, and, I mentioned about the whole offspring thing and how it was done in, Resurrection, and nobody liked it, which is fine. But, it was done in Prometheus, and that's just part of the lore. Like, we got it again here. And yes, the alien looks somewhat similar. Not even similar, just pale. That was the only difference. But, people said it looked similar to Resurrections, which made no sense. And they compared it to that. And it was like, all I just said was, well, it's part of the lore. It's what they do. And then he decided to bring up, but nobody liked Prometheus and blah, because of blah, blah, blah. We didn't want that film. I'm like, but that's not what I was talking about. I'm just saying they did the whole offspring, not only in Resurrection, but they did it again in Prometheus. And that the fact that they're doing it here is just part of the lore of the Alien franchise. And people like to go off a whole different tangent from what it is that you speak or make a comment of. And it's like, do you know how to have a conversation? Do you know how to pay attention to what it is that you're reading? So it's just a lot of that I find myself bothering to discuss with people, have conversations with people. And it's just a lot of like, I try to be professional, and I'm really never rude, but it's like, and I'm really never rude, to be honest. I don't try to like make jabs or whatever, but I'll call someone out. And he was like, oh, well, go enjoy your mediocrity of film and blah, blah, blah. And all I said was, you lost the argument. Clearly the comment you just made right now is because you had nothing logical or nothing to say at all based off the topic or what I was that you were responding to what I said. You had no reason to even comment if you're not going to have a conversation about what I'm saying. You're going off a different tangent. And then your thing is to, take a jab at me. And it's like, that doesn't hurt my feelings because clearly it just shows you have nothing better to say. You lost. Like, what, so it's like, if you can't respect people's opinions or at least have a comment or make a comment, because people will argue that, oh, you made a comment about my film or my movie review or my comment, and they get upset about that. And it's like, but it's on social media. You posted it for a reason. So it's open to be spoken about, and nobody has to agree with you, but you have to understand that it's a thing. That's just what it is. And if you don't want it, then don't make a comment, don't make a movie review, a video review. Like, if that's what you're going to complain about at that. I've seen that many times, and it's like, you should be able to, make a video review, have someone comment on it, whether they want to be jerks or not, and just be, say your piece, but you don't have to like fight them, verbally or make an argument about it. You can just say, well, such and such, you're wrong, and well, I feel like this and that. And it's like, just have a conversation, like with the two women. Now, I responded to their video, and I was just like, I don't agree with what you're saying. Like, how could you make these comments, especially if you haven't even seen such a franchise? I guess you're just saying things, and it's like, you're making a movie review, and then you're going to get people that watch your stuff and they just listen to you because they don't have a sense to like, watch things or take it in for themselves. And I didn't say that in the comment, but it's like, you do these things without the idea of actually having a genuine review and speaking on things that actually make sense. And if you have an actual idea or if you have an actual understanding of what it is that you've watched and to really make a review about. And all I said was that, you're wrong about Kaylee. Like, how could you, she's not attractive. Like, why? No, I made these comments, but I did keep it respectful. And I was like, and I just answered respectfully. That's how I ended it. And it was like, we respect your opinion, but ours is what it is. And I'm like, that's fine. But it's like, your review is bad. It's just, if you're going to make a movie review or you're going to comment on people's comments, like, actually listen or read what it is that they're saying and have a very thoughtful argument, comment, think about it. It's like, if you're going to go on someone's comments or on their videos and leave something on there to, like for them to see or want to be replied to, like, just think about what it is that you're saying. Have an actual thoughtful conversation, like, everyone thinks they're a critic. Everyone thinks they're a critic, and they think that, not all critiques are right. Again, you can have your opinion. Not all opinions make sense at that. So, but I love the film. I know this is a little different because it was more me like arguing, but from what I give it, it's a 9 out of 10. Check it out for yourself. I thought it was unique in its own way, despite some callbacks, some nostalgia. It had, its own type of characters, which you've never seen before, even though they weren't the best of characters within the Alien franchise. I will admit that. Again, I like 2, maybe 3 of the characters. But everything else I really enjoyed. I love the shots. I love the set. I love the face hugger shining out, shining more. I love, the new Offspring. I love that it was a continuation to a franchise that, I want to see more of. And I get sometimes you don't want to be a dead horse and the idea of just milking stuff, but guess what franchise is? If you love a franchise, you want to continue to see it grow and expand and do new things, or, backtrack to old things, and hopefully they do a good job with it. Hoping as a prequel, it kind of lent something for the future, or gave like a little tidbit about what we could expect in the future for more into the franchise. Someone said, oh, but the way it ended, you don't know what happened. It's just like, I'm like, no, there were things there mentioned that you can see what happens. Or even if it's similar to what Ripley, she goes off, she cryo sleeps, and it's just about who's going to find her. Maybe, years later, someone will find her like Ripley, but you can still do things with that and take it a different approach. Someone finds her, but maybe she crash lands to another planet, and it's not like part 3 where Ripley crashes into another planet, from the second film where she, is in cryo sleeps. In the first film, she's found by, obviously, the Earthers, and she's brought back home. In the third film, cryo sleep again, but crashes into this planet, this prison planet. So they can still do the whole cryo sleep and either crash somewhere else or is saved by Earthers, or heck, a new race of beings, or maybe if they want to bring back the engineers, she's found by the engineers if they're not already extinct, because I'm thinking at this point they're extinct. I don't know, but they can do things with it, even if it's similar. And the whole argument is like, oh, but this film is not like, it is unique. There's no such thing as it's not unique. Despite callbacks and whatnot, it's a unique film. I really don't understand the argument about Alien Romulus, and I defend it because I really liked it a lot, yeah, but I defend it because also the arguments just, they don't make sense to me. I really don't get it. I don't know why people, for the most part, not everybody, because there are people that love it. I've seen reviews that people like it, but just the ones that didn't like it, it's like, I can't rock with what your negative approach. You gave it a 3 out of 10? What? Like, that's just no way. There's no way a film as beautiful as that and as well executed as that deserves a 3 out of 10. That's just what it is. Was the acting great? I like the acting. I had no problem. People said the acting was bad, and it's like, what are you watching? Is it because these characters aren't what you're looking for, so you just you consider them bad acting? Like the one guy that didn't like the synthetic Andy, he was a jerk. I hated him in the film, but he did a great job because he made me hate him. That was his role. He was acting like, I don't understand. I really don't understand the way people view things, but check out the movie for yourself. I didn't want this review to be more of a complaint and like, defending it and I just wanted to be more positive. And I really enjoyed the film. I liked it, and check it out for yourself. But I just had to really talk about these things. And Alien Romulus, 2 thumbs up. I want another one. I loved it a lot. Check it for yourself. Don't let any reviews make that decision for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time. Later.